Welcome to Migration Stories, and we are produced by Northern Access TV. It's a series part of NAT Chat, and today I'm very happy to have with me Omar Pervaiz, who migrated here from Pakistan.
Pakistan, yes.
And he will also be playing some musical instruments and some fantastic music. We'll come across to that a little bit later in the program.
Thanks for that.
But it really is your passion, isn't it, music?
Yes, it is. Yes, I've been playing for a long time. Started playing pretty much in high school.
Right.
And started forming bands. This is early on when, you know, the situation in Pakistan was changing slowly.
Yes.
Started having more music, more art-related activities. It wasn't like that always.
Well, you're young, so that's not that long ago.
Yeah, not that long ago. Yeah, it is.
And I've heard that there's actually hard rock and, hard rock and heavy metal bands in Pakistan.
You wouldn't believe it.
Really?
You wouldn't believe it. There's some friends of mine. They've got a band called Kayas. I really enjoyed their music, and they won Asian category awards, like the best rock band in Asia. And yeah, they've gone to India. They've performed. Yeah, they're from Pakistan. They're from my city. They're from Islamabad. One of the guys, the founder, the guitar player, is my schoolmate from. I mean, we started together pretty much.
Wow.
Yeah, he taught me a few things, and then we were like we were learning off each other because we didn't have any music schools in Pakistan.
Well, we'll come to the music, and well, we're going to come to actually some live music on this show, so absolutely stick around. But yes, it was very different in Pakistan earlier. So what was it like as a youngster there growing up? What was happening around you?
The sad bit is, like, now that you know about it when you're outside of the country, and also when you grow up and you see a change and then you realize that this wasn't the way it was before. I was born in the General Zia era, which is a dictatorship, and General Zia was supporting the Afghan war, and there was a lot of, they called it Islamization, making all the laws and all the rules and regulations according to the Sharia, but it was just actually, and everybody agrees on it basically now pretty much, is that it was just him trying to justify his dictatorship. So he was empowering himself using the pseudo or false pretext of Islam, and yeah, we've been seeing the consequences of that in the past few years. It's what happens is once you provide that sort of cover for a lot of groups.
He brought out a more even forceful regime.
Exactly. He was kind of
using the religion to bring out something a little bit more sinister then, perhaps.
And that sinister mentality is something we haven't been able to get rid of till now. I mean, we're a democracy. We've transitioned from democracy to democracy now.
Yes.
But just the fact that you're electing a parliament and doing democracy and that sort of practice doesn't get rid of all the problems that are created by a long dictatorship. And
absolutely, yes.
That mentality is still there. Yep. That supremacy of your belief system and imposing it on other people is still there. And
it happened at all levels, like the local council sort of area, and the sort of in the military and
the hand-picked people were appointed to all these bodies.
Yes.
So that makes it easy for a dictator to work. So that mindset is something that the governments that are democratically elected, they also end up following now. It just makes it convenient for them to keep their man on, the tax watch or something. Indeed. They're not going to catch anybody.
Indeed.
So that affected the arts really badly, coming back to music and the arts.
Did it?
Yeah, because once you don't have people who are actually,
free enough to express themselves.
And also people who are not really related to that field. They're coming out and they're heading departments that are art or music related. They can't really nurture new artists, can they? Because they don't know anything about it.
Well, getting back to that, you were in a family, you had your family there in Pakistan. Yeah. When did you start thinking, or did your father or parents start thinking about migrating to Australia?
Yeah, because we were never into you know, a lot of people, my class fellows and people who were graduating with me in Pakistan after studies, they were thinking of moving to, like, immigrating to Canada, US, UK,
Yes.
or Australia.
One of those countries.
One of those developing, really well-developed countries with lots of opportunities. I was never one of them. I was working in the media area and multimedia as well. I was working with a channel, one of the biggest channels in Pakistan, news channel. And I was also doing a lot of multimedia work from my past experience, which is websites, graphics, you know, digital graphics and that sort of stuff. Yeah, it was later. I mean, you know, we just had applied out of, you know, like, let's just apply. There's a couple of people who were applying.
You wanted something and you thought you'd apply.
We thought it would be a good idea to have an option, sort of, you know, literally. It was like, you know, let's have an option of.
So what happened then? But you were successful and.
We got it was a pretty smooth process for us, and we got the whole immigration thing cleared out pretty quickly. Minor hitch, because I'd moved jobs. I was, you know, the investigation kind of found. Somebody told them that, you know, I haven't worked at a place that I'd mentioned as my work experience.
Oh, I see.
Because I'd moved from there, and the people who were there now didn't know me. Well, that was a minor hitch, but I cleared it out, and, you know, the authorities were really nice. It was just a few emails, and that was good enough. And then I was like, we visited Sydney, we went back, and then an incident happened that I think I told you about it on the phone as well.
What incident?
Nothing had happened that had kind of caused us to, as I told you before, think of moving overseas permanently or definitely making that decision. My son got kidnapped.
Oh my goodness!
He was taken for 5 days for ransom.
Yes, that's terrible.
And
unbelievable.
Yeah, and that was a very scary. I mean, that's like one of those parts of my life. And my family, my wife and everybody else, the extended family as well, that we kind of blocked out.
Yes.
It's that painful.
Look, we'll have to come back after the break and find out how you resolved that terrible situation. Thank you. Please come back after the break and find out a bit more from Omar about his amazing story. Welcome back to Migration Stories. I'm here with Omar, and your son was kidnapped in Lahore, which is actually quite a peaceful town.
Yes, it is, and it's been like that. It's actually the arts and culture sort of hub of Pakistan.
And was this maybe because you're seen as a sort of a better off, educated and, you know, employed and wealthy person, or why would this have happened?
It was really strange because kidnapping for ransom has increased since we moved here, and it has increased dramatically in some of the safer towns as well. But it wasn't as common at that time.
No.
But you know, we were unlucky.
You were. So how did it resolve?
I had to go out and, you know, kind of follow.
Negotiate,
they would call,
negotiate, do your own investigation.
They had to call,
really?
They would call and they would set up a time to meet, and I had to go every night, almost non-stop for 5 nights.
And were you petrified to inform the police, or?
We got the police involved.
Yeah,
because one of our neighbors was a police.
This is terrible.
It took 5 days to resolve, and they would call, and I mean, it was like a movie, literally. It was like, you know, getting calls and then following their leads, and then them telling us no, go back or something.
Right, I see. Mind games.
Yeah, it was
terrorizing.
It was pretty traumatic.
So eventually, you had to hand over some money and
we paid them a big amount and
I'm so sorry that happened to you. That's terrible.
Yeah, it was a pretty dark sort of time.
I guess you're pretty keen to come to Australia after that.
Yeah, we were like, okay, we've got immigration, we've got bad, you know, security situation in Pakistan. It's happened to us. It's hit home.
Yes.
You know, when it's happening around you,
wow.
Maybe it doesn't hit home that much. You know, when other people are getting affected, when it's your family, when your kid is affected by it, you don't want to put up with it anymore. So
you came to Melbourne.
Yes, we moved very quickly to
Yes.
Melbourne. Yeah.
And so, just very quickly, well, what happened then? You know, you employed, or you went to study, or you brought your family over? You had your whole family over?
Actually, my wife and my kids moved before me because I was still under a contract. I was working at the television channel I mentioned.
Yeah.
Then I joined them later and started looking for work, teaching at one of the institutes. Yeah, and
excellent.
Yeah, that sort of stuff, and trying to find
so
my way around.
Everything's pretty beautiful now, and you have new aspirations now to develop your musical career.
Look, it's been amazing. It's been a bit of a struggle early on when you lose your whole network of people. Even if it's a country where that doesn't really encourage arts and music, you end up developing a following there. And when I moved to Australia, I felt that I'd completely cut myself off from the people that knew I played music or would come to my gigs or stuff like that. And then I had to work my way up slowly. Started with, I was like, where do we go? I was like, yeah, let's go busk in the city. So I got a busker's permit, and I'm doing a music video that's actually kind of a story about my experience of learning the ropes around Melbourne.
Okay.
Music-wise. I mean, there's other stuff as well, but yeah, that's something I'm doing.
Now, which instruments do you play? Because, well, I see 3 or 4 types of instruments here. What's this here then?
The percussion. Okay. This is a really cool instrument. I like it a lot. It's a clay pot, and it's called a ghada. It's a ethnic Pakistani instrument from the obviously rural areas, because it's used to carry water as well. You can see it's hollow.
Beautiful.
And also, when you're done with the water, you can.
Oh wow! I've heard that on Indian music.
And
Pakistani music.
And then you can, it's from the rural areas. Goes into Rajasthan on the Indian side, I think, the province Rajasthan or the state, and. This top is the bass and the sides of the treble. So,
excellent.
Yeah, water as well as percussion. So you got multi-purpose.
And you also have a traditional instrument, stringed instrument?
Yes. All these instruments are instruments I'm essentially learning to play.
Yes.
But this one is a beauty. I love it. It's called the rabab. The rabab is a folk instrument from the northwestern or KP or the troubled area, as the world would know it, Pakistan.
I see. Okay,
it's close to Afghanistan. Yeah. And this is an instrument from Afghanistan as well, but it reaches out all the way to the Punjab and into the Indian Punjab as well.
And these are resonant strings here?
Yeah, they heaps of strings here. They're about, I think, 12. And they tune to all the notes of the scale, all the chromatic notes. And then whichever note you play, there's a string to ring with it. So, it's really big, resonant.
Yeah.
Huge hollow chamber here.
I see.
So, yeah. So it's
and is that got a pickup on it too?
Yeah, that's me.
You're experimenting all the time.
I modified it. First of all, when I was getting it, when I was in Pakistan last, about a couple of years back, there's a friend called Farhan Bogra. He's kind of brought the rabab back into Pakistani mainstream music. He's played a few fusion tunes with mainstream bands, and he's got a very good ethnic fusion band as well. And so he was kind of an inspiration. And my friend Taimur, who's a very good sarangi player, another folk classical actually instrument.
So what's your aspiration with music now? You want to put out records and videos?
I just want to do the circuit, man. I want to do everything. I want to put out music. I want to do gigs. I want to play with people, find musicians to play with, and release music, do videos.
So much to find out, but we've got to go to a break now, and then after the break we'll be enjoying some contemporary music from Omar. welcome back. Well, we're happy here now because Omar's got his son back and his family, and they're in Australia, in Melbourne.
Right, yeah.
So we're into the music and electric guitar.
Yeah, that's my main instrument.
Indeed.
I'm learning the folk instruments as well.
Yes.
I play a few traditional scales. I've been always wanting to learn them.
Very interesting they are. Yes.
But this rock and roll guitar is my main instrument.
Well, you can cross over, but you have used traditional instrument in a kind of a recorded with a looping sort of machine here.
Yes.
Foot pedal.
Like the percussion instrument, the gada, and some other hand drums I've used to loop some music that I'm going to play over.
Yep.
I'm going to play guitar over those looped tracks that I've created at home.
Sounds very fresh and original.
So I'm going to do that, and this is just a folk song, folk melody from Pakistan, which I've kind of funked up with some riffs and stuff. So hope you guys enjoy it. That's the beat. चंगी हाँ साहिब तेरी बंदी हाँ लोक जनन दीवानी लोक जनन दीवानी मैं रंग साया यार दी गडोली भर मैं यार दी गडोली भर दी मैं दी गडोली भर दी मैं यार दी गडोली एक अला कोलों मैं डर दी एक मौला कोलों मैं डर दी हाँ मैं यार दी गडोली भर दी सोने यार दी गडोली आहा आहा मैं यार दी गडोली भर दी.
Wow, that is a different, fresh sound.
Cool, thanks. I'm glad you like it.
And you can build that up into performances. And so, how do people find your music? Or
I'm working on this track. There's a few tracks that are finished. There's it's all a multilingual compilation. It's some of them are in English. This one is Punjabi.
Yes.
There's another Punjabi folk tune as well that I've covered. I mean, this is covering it or writing a new arrangement for it, basically.
Gotcha.
There's some totally original stuff as well, which I write lyrics for and I compose myself.
Can you imagine doing this, anywhere else other than here in Melbourne? Are we one of the best towns to do this?
I love doing it in Melbourne. I play with all these musicians that I different ethnicities that I never met anywhere else. I play with a Turkish Kurd musician. I play with a Lebanese percussion player.
Man.
I play with an Indian bansuri player now, and it's like a dream scenario for me. World music and rock and roll together. What more can you ask for?
Brilliant. Now, how's your family going in Melbourne? And is everyone, engaged in school and finding work? And you're living in the northern suburbs?
Yes, we are. And the kids are going to school. They love it. They're happy.
So what thoughts do you have of Pakistan now when you think about it?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. It's my home country. I can't.
It stays in there, in
your
heart.
Yeah,
of course,
I have a really warm feeling about it. I'm saddened by the situation that it's in now.
But hopeful for better things
for a
in
better
the future.
I hope
Wouldn't it
that
be great to go back and rock them out with this stuff?
Yeah, I want to someday. I'm going to start a crowdfunding campaign to finish my music off.
Yes.
And maybe tour Pakistan.
Wow.
The idea is to reclaim Pakistan from the bad things. Yeah.
Having recharged your batteries here.
Go back and get the ownership of the land.
Omar, you know, you've been here a while now, and what are your hopes and aspirations for Australia, you know, culturally, perhaps even, you know, musically, or, you know, can you see Australia's role in the world being greater?
Look, Australia's got a great multicultural mix happening.
That is a strength, isn't it?
It is a huge strength. I think people don't even, like right now, people need to step out of their own community blocks that our community's created, that hierarchical block within itself as well, and they don't come out of it, which is, I don't think that's fair to Australia, because you're in Australia, you should take your art and your music and your ethnicity and take it to everybody.
Be proud and show it to everybody.
Share it with everybody.
Yeah,
that's why I play with the
multi-ethnicity too.
Yeah, play with everybody and share it with everybody, and that's what's going to make Australia more beautiful. So,
Omar, thank you very much for coming in today. We're going to have a little bit more of your music, but I'm going to sign off now, and so please do join us again next time. I'm Rich Micallef for Migration Stories. Omar, please give us another piece and we'll fade out on it.